Day 13 dawns with me wandering around Copenhagen in the morning. I'll be covering a large area, especially along the central lakes. Walk by the Tycho Brahe Planetarium. The lakes are very beautiful in the morning with the sun glinting off of them. One of the things you notice in Copenhagen, as the other Scandinavian cities, is bicycles everywhere. Even at apartments, you have parking for your bicycle, not your car. And these with solid wheels are special bikes. They're called city bikes. You go to a special stand, stick a coin in, take your bike, and then you can drop it off in any stand. And once you plug it back in, you get your coin back, so you can use it all day for free. That is, if you can find one. They're hard to find sometimes. You'll notice fruit stands and other food stands everywhere, and maybe you'll even notice a few stores that you already know something about. And this is dog parking. If you have to park your dog somewhere, they even have parking for dogs. Fountains and statues are everywhere, and of course you have to deliver mail, and so this is the city mail system. We'll be riding buses most of the time here, and most of the time we'll be passing through the central train station on the way doing that. After my look around Copenhagen, I go back to the hotel and pick up Deborah. We first go to the main square, then to the Van Fru Kerk, then off the Homenskerk. Then we walk through and see the stock market and other places on Parliament Island and see Christiansborg Castle. Next we'll be taking a canal tour ride. Then we'll be going to Rosenborg Castle. And then I will head to the Round Tower for a great view from the top. Before we go to Tivoli, let's look at the central square. Hans Christian Andersen sits here at the central square looking at Tivoli. Deborah wouldn't climb into his lap. As we continue day 14, we'll go to the Church of Our Lady, the Catholic Cathedral in Copenhagen. Let's look around as we listen to the organ play. Next we'll go to Homenskerk, which is over near the Parliament building. It's the Lutheran church in the area. We'll go to Thorvaldsen's Museum. Next we'll look at the old stock market with its unusual twisted tower. Then we'll walk over to the Parliament building, which is Christiansborg Castle. It's in two segments. The back part is the old castle. The front part is the new Christiansborg Castle, which is the Parliament building. And this is a look from the back. Then we head on a canal tour. Ready to head out on the boat. This is the route we'll be following. Let's listen to our guide and watch what goes on.
Starts. This is where the city was founded in 1167 by this guy up here on the horse. That's Bishop Absalom.
That Deborah.
I don't have that.
Oh wow.
The castle you have up here on your right-hand side is Christiansborg Castle. This is the newest part of it from 1928, and it's the third castle built in the exact same spot. The two first burned down. It used to be the royal palace, but now instead it houses the Danish parliament, the Supreme Court, and some of the Queen's reception rooms. Here on your right-hand side, you'll see the old stock market, which was built on the request of King Christian IV. The characteristic tower consists of 4 dragon-tailed institutions. And at the top, you'll see 3 small crowns that symbolize Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. On that side, you'll see the Danish National Bank, which was designed by the famous Danish architect and designer Arne Jacobsen. This building was his last project.
We'll be coming back to New Holland tomorrow.
One of the things we'll be able to see in the harbor here is the old house of Hans Christian Andersen. We lived for 19 years. It's the narrow grey-white house between the green and the brown in the direction we're sailing. The large building you see here in front of us to your left with the copper roof is the new theatre, which is part of the Royal Theatre and opened earlier this year. The new Opera House in Copenhagen, which was opened in 2005 and was a gift from the shipping entrepreneur Maersk. It cost just about 350 million euros to build. It has 14 floors, of which 5 are below sea level.
Look at the former naval base that's now been converted to housing. The torpedo servicing building has been changed into ritzy, expensive apartments.
Up to 10 million Danish kroner. The sheds you have here on your left-hand side are the old cannon boat sheds. In 1807, the British Navy attacked and captured the entire Danish Navy, and from then on they had to defend themselves with small cannon boats, which in reality weren't anything else but rowing boats with cannons on them. The sailboat we're passing here on your right-hand side is called Seestad, and it was recently retired to be put up here as a museum boat. The frigate you see here, the Navy ship on your right-hand side, is called Pederskab. It used to be the pride of the Danish Navy. It was never in battle, but it did fire one missile, which hit a bullseye in the middle of a row of summer cottages up in the northern part of the island. Now, luckily nobody was at home. Blacks have to follow this one. Every morning and every night they'll fire cannon shots to honor the flag. It's a tradition that's more than 200 years old, and this flag also symbolizes Denmark's freedom. And in 2006 it was selected as the foremost cruise ship harbor in the world. More than 300 large cruise ships come here to dock every year.
We'll be back to look at the Little Mermaid from the shore tomorrow.
Mermaid by the famous fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen. Even was originally a gift from the Carlsberg breweries. She was made by a Danish artist called Ulva Eriksen, who used his own wife and a ballerina as the models. She's had a really rough life. Twice her head was sawed off and robbed. The first time in 1964, the police didn't manage to find that robber.
We'll walk through this area called Emmelenborg Park tomorrow also.
This is where they gather before they go on board the royal yacht, which is called Stenable. Unfortunately, it's not in the harbor at the moment.
We'll go see Emmelenborg Castle and also the Marble Church tomorrow.
1794. It consists of 4 cemeteries. You also see Frederick's Church, or as it's more known, the Marble Church. It has the 4th largest dome in Europe. We have straight in front of us now is the tower of Our Saviour's Church, which has an exterior spiral staircase with more than 400 steps, and it's actually possible to take the walk all the way to the top. Højre side, mens vi sejler ind, der vi kunne se nogle af de husbåde, som er blevet populære her i København. Christians Harbor. Christianshavn was founded in 1617. Our King Christian IV wanted to create an attractive market town here, as he had seen done previously in Amsterdam. However, to begin with, all the construction sites consisted of mud, and so nobody wanted to...
Deborah didn't have to duck, everybody else did.
Black building straight in front of you here. It's called the Black Diamond. It's the extension of our Royal Library from 1999, designed by the architect. It's called the Black Diamond because it's tilted times water and sun will be reflected in the building, and it twinkles and shines sort of like little diamonds. left-hand side, you'll find it.
We'll be back at the
British
National Museum
Museum.
tomorrow. And now on to Rosenborg Palace. There they have exhibits of different rooms in different time periods from different kings, so you can see how they would have lived. Let's look around some. In the mirror closet, you can see yourself from the bottom, you can see yourself from the sides, and you can look in the ceiling and see yourself, so you can see what you look like from every single angle. This is a throne room guarded by the lions. And it really wouldn't be royal if it wasn't for the treasury. So we'll go down into the basement of Rosenborg Castle and see the treasury. Notice this wine is almost 400 years old. And of course, everybody wants to see the crowns and royal jewels that the king and queen wear. And then on to Assistens Cemetery, where we'll see Hans Christian Andersen's grave. Their cemeteries look a lot like our parks, and it's hard to even tell. Sometimes it's a cemetery. Then we move on to Round Tower, which is attached to the Trinity Church. It's over 100 feet high. It's built in 1642 by Christian IV. There's a ramp inside that goes around the tower, so Christian IV could ride his horse up in it. And you can even sit down with some of the greatest people in history, such as Hans Christian Andersen and others who sat on this throne. You can get a good look from here at Marble Church, the Church of Our Lady Catholic Church, Rosenborg Castle, the bridge to Malmö, Sweden. Then it's off to Tivoli for some fun. Tivoli was built in 1843. It has a size of about 20 acres, about one city block. And it was the inspiration for Disney's Disneyland. Although you'll be very disappointed if you've already been to Disneyland, it's extremely small. is what Deborah wants to do. She wants to go up in this and swing around.
No, we're not.
We take a ride in the flying trunk as we look at various Hans Christian Andersen fairy
The
tales.
tale of a soldier who finds gold. The Little Mermaid left her beautiful undersea home to see the world. She came to love a human. Now we come to the story of the most steadfast tin soldier. The soldier had a great adventure involving a paper boat, a sewer, a large rat, and a big fish. People believe flattery, others praise stuff they cannot see. So it was with the Emperor's new shepherdess, and the chimney sweep decided to run away from her disapproving grandfather. But the world is so big! The prince came to this castle with wonderful gifts, but the princess scorned them and refused to see the prince. You know, when a young lady is a princess, why, place a pea under 20 mattresses and 20 feather beds. If the lady says the bed is lumpy, she's a true princess.
When we come out, it's so dark that the lights are starting to come on, and Tivoli is beautiful at night. And this ends our day 14.